Hello and welcome to another edition of Vicious Villains. For this episode, it's a little bit different today. Previous videos, we've had doctors versus other doctors, and we decided to bring some people back and just, have the two winners fight it out. So for today, we have Andrew Durning fighting after his first win. And we have Christopher John Stephen again, who devastated me in our round.
Yeah,
So
that was
welcome back, everybody. And also, we have, because we were doing the doctors versus doctors, we thought we'll get everybody back. So we have two adjudicators. And, oh, God, to sneeze.
Yeah. Don't worry, I shall carry this one while you sneeze. We thought we'd bring, as Kev was saying before, he decided to, especially spread COVID to the internet. We thought we would bring back everybody from all the previous rounds, and we would have the two racist losers become the judges for our rounds. So we have Kev Tierney and a good friend, William Dickson. Bill, Christopher, both of you, thank you so much for coming back to the House of Fun or the House of Madness.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Oh, I was more than happy to come back and judge people rather than get my ass handed to me again. So
yeah, that's why I always put Kev up for the fights. Usually, I'm better at judging.
So you'll be glad to know there's less PowerPoint presentations this time. I know where people really love them, and I'm sorry, I'll get my act together for the next one. But I'm just going to go straight from the hip this time round.
I see those notes. You ain't going straight from the head. You're prepared. You are gunslinging this like Westworld.
Well, not all of us can afford chroma key there, Andrew. So we do our best. But you know how much you got to cost me for that TARDIS back there? Hey.
Believe me, I ordered some vintage Thomas Ertl trains. And let's just say I slept on the couch for 3 days because I don't know how much that cost me. That is now my kid's inheritance. Because I can't get life insurance because I'm mentally fucked. So yeah, it's always fun.
Is this because I went on about the fact that if you grew your hair out last time that you looked like from the girl from the eBay advert? Notice how I'm building animosity between us early on.
Hey, in fairness, Christopher, if you want to go down the animosity route, you've been calling on my good name lately. I heard you say that you were the evil Andrew Durning. You're playing on my good name. It's fucking war, my friend. It is war. Gingicide is coming.
And I thought this was called Vicious Villains. Am I wrong?
Oh no, don't worry. There's Vicious Villains, and then there's a Durning with a fucking temper.
Is gingivitis not something you have to go to your dentist about? Oh, no, gingivitis. Sorry. You could call it gingivitis. There you go. That's
somebody's hooked into the barrier.
Your dentist, not your hairdresser. Go home.
And first, I have used gingivitis several times for comedy purposes. Never has it landed so sweetly as someone who's non-gingered fucking did it. Anyway, it is a pleasure to have you all back. And it's the first time I've ever done one where we've had 4 people on a screen. It's proof I actually have friends.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going to make it. I'm just not.
We'll save that
Everybody
one for off.
knows what it is.
We all know. Like I said, I was rewatching some of the ones today. And yeah, I should not be let off the leash. You really shouldn't.
Somebody's like really squinting that right now. We'll see this and think, "Oh my god, they've remade the young ones." My God, I used to like that shit.
This is just what happens when the young ones had a midlife crisis.
I know. Oh god, yeah. Oh my god, we're the young ones, the middle-aged working years. That's disappointing.
Basically, what happened if the young ones survived the bus crash and were in comas for 20 odd years? Oh my god. Also, Bill, as I was watching the last one, have you got an alcoholic beverage this time? Or did you stick with...
No.
Oh, he's stuck with...
I thought to myself, me drunk online? No. That's not a good idea. So I'm sticking with the H2O, thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. Sounds like a good plan, my friend.
I'm going halfway. This is 0.0 Chrombacker, which is good, but I did. In the local pub, and get into a debate about Tenants Light, which really sort of raised my anger levels nicely. So I can highly recommend that as a pre debate ritual.
That. Very well. I'm going all out. I am on the red color milk, not strawberry milk, like the actual like red top, like the shitty ones that you can't, like the one that's basically dishwater.
I'm like, if your milk's red, don't drink it. Yeah. Something's wrong with it.
Yeah, I'm just preparing by drinking the blood of my enemies.
Oh God! I was wanting to make a joke of that, but all I can think of is you have the same glass set that we have that we got from IKEA.
Yes, we more got this. We actually got it when we first moved. Me and Alison moved into our first flat. And we've only just started to use them because the nice tankers that we got. I'm like, I don't trust the kids around them. If they break, they break. It's fine. Not fussed. But because their boys are just terrible.
I'm just thinking of Luke Skywalker paying a visit to your planet and going, "Ew, your milk's red."
Just him turning up with it all dripping down his beard, like.
It's like it's not blue milk, like normal milk.
Oh man, this is. Well, I can already tell this is gonna be a fucking blast, man. What? Oh man. I have been so looking forward to this. It's brilliant. And we've been getting a lot of positive reviews as well about the super fights and vicious villains as well. Like everybody loves the format, they love the concept. The fact that 3 people said to keep it going, we'll do that.
Yep.
It's 3 better than none. So since it is like the final battle, the big boss battle of the gingers, as I've been calling it, I wanted us to try and take it in a little bit of a unique spin. We've already had our 3 rounds over the course, and as I was explaining to them off air, if we went by the statistics of those rounds, Christopher will either completely whitewash me 3-0, or I might get a consolation prize at the end. That's about it. So we had a little discussion about it, and we thought, let's try and do a unique one, 2 rounds. First round will be about alternative universes. This is where we'll look into the characters in other universes, and whether it be, Marvel, DC, comic book, film, TV, all those type of mediums, and see how they've been represented. Is it good? Is it bad? Are they stronger? Are they weaker? Etc. And for the final round, it'll be a double pointer, and it's if our characters were immobilized, if they were they were in a vegetative state, they couldn't use their abilities, and they were transferred into either myself or Christopher John Stephen, how would that shape up in a fight? If it was essentially, I took inspiration from the Doc Ock brain and Spider-Man's body for this one, and thought, how would a Dr. Manhattan and Christopher John Stevens body work? I mean, would Christopher constantly be dealing with sunburn because he's just bright blue and radiating? In my case, if Dr. Doom's power stuff were in my body, would I have to hide behind Galactus all the time because I'm too close to the sun and I would fry? So something a wee bit unique. Means I've got to create more effects, but I always like messing about in my editing software. It's quite cool.
Excellent.
So again, it'll be down to the arguments. It won't be down to their own personal opinions. We have our judges, which is Kevin and Bill, who have very kindly either come back to seek retribution, or will try and be as impartial as they can.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
And that is exactly what we want to hear on this show.
No, it'll be good, clean fight.
And you know that I'm here in Nick Cage.
Oh yeah, that
was Nick Cage.
But nothing can beat Christopher John Stevens' Nick Cage slam.
Yep.
That was because I deliberately, when I was doing the edit in the day, I rewatched that entire segment. Same level of shock and awe, the stuff of legend. So I just had to put the word, get the Nick Cage gif and just put the word slam just over it. And it was just instant, right? That should get the point back. That was fantastic. And we know that Kev has definitely come to play because like the hair is out. It's not tied
The hair's
behind.
out, yep.
Like the hair's out. He's ready. He is ready. Like our Scottish Witcher.
Yep.
I was going to go
I
with
like the fact that Kevin makes cuts a good figure as an arcane judge. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. I was going to go with he watched the end of Stranger Things season 4 and he was just doing his best Eddie Munson.
I was doing it first. I was doing it long before Eddie Munson.
Oh yeah, sure.
He was doing it before it was cool.
I was listening to Kate Bush before it was cool. Anyway, moving on.
There's a joke. Wait, no.
Yep. There is. But
Nope.
especially I've been editing a script and the fact that there was so many Bush jokes in that script is I'm like, yeah. Well, guys, are we ready to jump into this madness?
Oh yes.
Yep.
Right. So we shall start with round 1, alternative realities. This is where we take what our characters from each perspective reality and see over the variants and all the course of this multiverse of madness, not the Doctor Strange one, but who would be more superior or has had more success in their medium. Like Christopher, you have had a bit of preparation on this, which is a good thing because I totally pulled this out my ass. So I will let you go first.
Gentleman competitor. There we go. Well, yeah, you're right, Andrew. I have had a little bit of time to prepare about this, and this stemmed from what's talked about in the early series, because, of course, my avataree or nominee, or whatever you want to call him, Dr. Manhattan, is a being capable of traveling between universes. So it's not really a question of, what universes are they great in. It's more a question of what universes are they going to pick, because, his whole character arc after the Watchmen film, after the Watchmen TV series, the fact that he showed up in the DC universe and he became part of DC continuity. And as I got rightly pilloried for when I mentioned this in the original debate, he was responsible for the New 52 event of 2011. I found it really, really hard to come back from when I mentioned that. I really did. Such a bad event that they had to try a new rebirth in 2016. The fact that they sort of set the stage for things like the Doomsday Clock event, it made Dr. Manhattan rethink about what he'd done in previous universes and where he could make things better. So, he sort of went in and sorted out the Kennedy assassination, sorted out Bruce Wayne, and all that, sort of peeled into significance to the New 52 event. But, again, I believe in owning my mistakes. And I'm going to mention the fact that, yeah, you did create the New 52 event. It wasn't a great continuity. It wasn't a great alternative universe to live in. But I've done my research, and there's so many more worst alternative universes to live in. And if you don't mind, I've again prepared a little list to just go through here.
Right.
Because there's certain expectations about me in this channel.
Can you wine and dine me before you fuck me?
Okay, well, let's make it fair. If anybody...
Well, I'm prepared for another.
Let's do this proper debating school rules, guys. So I'll go through the universes I've got. If anybody's got any thing to add, sort of put your hand up and say point of information. We'll do it proper Oxford style. How about that?
Cool.
I'd just like to say to my second year English teacher, look, I'm using my debating skills, so screw you!
It's so ironic that I've created something that revolves around debate. When I did debate club, I got my ass handed to me on every occasion. There is an art imitating life thing going on here right now.
Oh, so many times. So many times. I feel your pain, Andrew. Like I say, I'm going to make this nice and easiest rule. So let's go through a sort of potted list of worst alternative universes to live in, and they're mainly DC, but we'll interject a couple bits. So Let's start with Earth 29, aka Bizarro World, where everything is backwards and confusing. We're all familiar with Bizarro characters. Bizarro Supergirl makes me revulsed and somewhat confused and horny at the same time. Let's move on from that. Earth 3 is ruled by the evil crime syndicate of America. Not only the evil, they couldn't come up with a better name. The continuity of The Office, where basically it's our world, except David Brent isn't a character in The Office. He's a reality TV star who's made famous by his participation in The Office. Because not only does that mean that David Brent is a real living person who's made famous by the continuity of The Office, it means that our world doesn't have Martin Freeman in it. And that's just too hard to bear. I told you we're going on different tangents here. Well, I'm keeping to that. Earth X or Earth 10, a world where the Nazis won World War II. Let's be honest, there's plenty of fan fiction about that, so move on. Just Earth 17, where everyone's atomic, which is just dangerous, frankly. The Batman and Robin movie one, where George Clooney is Batman, just no. Earth 1191 or Earth 33, where everyone's bloodthirsty vampires, so good they did it twice. Earth 33, which is basically our Earth, the real world, and look what's going on. We're doing this in just after everybody left Boris Johnson's cabinet, and I don't want to live in this world anymore. Earth Zero's Future's End, where cyborg bugs have destroyed everything. Kind of obvious, really. And in closing argument, any Fantastic Four movie universe proved me wrong, Durning.
Right. Okay.
That's
no points of information, no comments. Come on, guys.
Right, well,
any questions? Let's go.
First of all, I will give you a round of applause for that one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Certainly a unique perspective on debating, as always. Very interesting points that you've made there. So it jumps over to me. You've served the ball back to me. So let's talk about the alternative versions of Victor Von Doom. So there is the 1602, which is a Neil Gaiman's alternative universe tale, Marvel 1602, where Dr. Doom is Count Otto Von Doom, also known as Otto the Handsome. Mastermind, genius of physics and even genetics, Von Doom keeps the four of the fantastic, which just basically sounds like the worst wording that you'd ever have for the Fantastic Four. But imprisoned in a castle, continually tapping Reed Richards for knowledge. Again, that sounds so dodgy.
It's in the days of all these The Witcher games and all that, where everyone's spoken ye olde English, which nobody actually ye olde spoken.
Yeah, ye olde English, aka me no understando. You also have
that's all it was.
You also have 2009, Dr. Victor Von Doom, Marvel Comics anti-hero, again based on Dr. Doom, but written by John Francis Moore for the first 2 years, and it was essentially a retelling of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's original tales. Again, as you said, if it's an ain't broke, don't fix it kind of scenario. Then we also have in the Age of Apocalypse, where Victor Von Doom is actually an agent of the Human High Council and head of security. He has a facial scar as a result of a mutant uprising in Latveria. And like his 616 counterpart, Von Doom remains ruthless and ambitious, though he does not express it to the goal of trying to rule the world, because obviously, they're trying to deal with apocalypse at the time. So it actually shows that he can be more of a hero if the circumstances are right. We also have a Fantastic Four's The End, which was a mini-series where Dr. Doom appeared as a 4-armed cyborg with little of his humanity left. And Doom breaks the mutant wars and is now essentially a killing machine, which is just focused on killing the Fantastic Four. It seems like he's seemingly killed in an explosion when his powers react with those of, Franklin and Valeria Richards. I believe that was their twins, from what I remember. Doom is later revealed to be alive and conquers the negative zone after killing Annihilus. So there we go. There's a good one. And here we go. House of M. Now, I like this one because in this one, Doom is still the ruler of Latveria. His mother's alive. He's adopted Christoph. Reed Richards tests flight and still encounters the cosmic radiation, but rather than empowering them, the three of them are killed by cosmic radiation, with only Ben Grimm surviving, but his intelligence is severely reduced. And it inspires Doom to create the Fearsome Four, consisting of himself, the It, which is Grimm, the Invisible Woman, or the Invincible Woman, and another Inhuman Torch, which is Christoph. But of course, with Doom being Doom, his arrogance, he betrays the team. Kills Valeria and Christoph. They kidnap his mother. Doom's left broken, but preparing for his revenge. One thing I didn't realize, he was actually in the mini Marvels. He actually made a couple of cameos in that, which is it's essentially like classic mini Marvel section, like a short story of him trying to read the Marvel comics so he can essentially experiment with Spider-Man's body, which just sounds so dodgy in that context as well.
Really does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then there's an MC2 Fantastic Five series where Doom is revealed to have been held captive by the Submariner for 10 years after the destruction of Atlantis. Doom manages to escape and uses the same device that he once employed to imbue Terrax with cosmic powers. And it's unable to use it on himself because his human body would be destroyed from the strain. And of course, every bad guy just tries to attempt to take over the world and prove himself superior to Reed Richards. And Reed Richards challenges Doom to a physical duel using a device that would send the loser's mind into the crossroads of infinity. But they're so evenly matched that they're both sent to the crossroads. Although it is noted that Reed sacrificed himself to save Doom. So they're essentially just empty shells. You also have Iron Man 2093, an alternative future set in 2093 where a reborn King Arthur rules a renewed Camelot, which is, it just gets more and more bonkers, doesn't it? I thought zombies was the most bonkers thing you could come out of Marvel, but yet 2093 and King Arthur's came back for the dead? What the fuck? Also we have Camelot, and King Arthur is aided by Merlin, Doctor Doom, and Iron Man, and they're drawn to the future to oppose a plan to destroy most of Earth's population. That's quite interesting. Doom does meet his future double, who relies on technology to extend his lifespan, and has allied with the future Iron Man in order to use his mobility to complete his plan. But Doom rejects his future self by pointing out he would never do such a thing, for even though he seeks power, he always watches for the cost of said power. And then, of course, he kills his older self. Sounds about right.
I mean, like I say, all these universes Doctor Doom seems absolutely laudable in them, but like I say, does it really make up for the movie universe where he's played by the bloke from Nip Tuck? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
no one ever remembered Ian McMahon's name. Come on.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, who would want to remember his name? But you look at it, I mean, there's other universes. There's universes where he's fighting zombies. There's a universe where he's combined with DC's Doomsday and creates Dr. Doomsday. He's in the Old Man Logan comic as well.
Just because the title fits together doesn't mean it's worth combining stuff. I mean, we all learned the lesson of when McFly and Busted combined themselves to form McBusted. It just doesn't work.
That's McBusted.
I'm going to give him that. I'm going to give him that point.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah. McBusted, come on.
That is true, but one of the things that is what seems to be like a recurring theme when it comes with Doom, unlike McBusted, Doom's actually a success.
Sometimes.
Doom has a lot going for him. I mean, in the dystopian future of Earth X, he's killed the Invisible Woman and Human Torch. Granted, he died in the process, but yeah, he still killed them. And there's another one where, like I say, he's He's a God Emperor Doom, which is the most powerful version of Doctor Doom with the power of the Beyonders and other heroes. And during the Secret War storyline, Doctor Doom stole those powers and became God Emperor Doom. So Doom could actually take Dr. Manhattan in this timeline because he is also the equivalent of a fucking god, as you had laid out in your 3-page dossier, and you took Kevin's ass down.
Yep.
So we have one. We've got him there for you. But there's also...
he's really panded to your defeat there, Kevin. So are you going to let him? Are you going to?
Don't sway the judges. It's based on the arguments. And also, I'm
just more worried about the fact that Kevin is technically the host for this. So if it goes to deadlock, then Kevin gets the casting vote. So
ain't going to go to deadlock because we've got like one that's worth 2 points. So come on, man. Like the fact you're not even paying attention to the rules. I've got you on the ropes, man. Now, in my closing argument for this, I will say that in the Ultimate Marvel universe, Doctor Doom is also known as Victor Van Dam, which is a direct descendant of Dracula. So,
I mean, if you'd said Jean-Claude Van Damme just then, I would have conceded defeat there and then. But no, you got my hopes up and then you dashed them, Andrew. So sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, if there's a Victor Von Doom that does the splits and roundhouse kicks Reed Richards in the face, then no, that wins.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just taken it like a sinker.
But I could have so easily just said it was Jean-Claude Van Damme, but I thought the fact this guy, he's been a god, he's been Dracula, he's taken out Galactus, he's got the powers of the Beyonders, and mostly every universe, there's always one guy that is there in a constant threat to humanity and the entire universe as a whole, no matter what one he's in, and it's always Doctor Doom.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, you've got a tough choice ahead of you, so
some pretty good arguments, both sides. Tough one.
Very.
Although if you do say we get a half point each, then whoever wins the last one wins outright anyway. So just saying.
Look at you just try to just shovel this shit just right there.
I mean, even if you do both get a vote,
or more commonly known as gain a tactical advantage there, Andrew. That's what.
Yeah, but see if I've got to try and edit and just put in a half rather than a single point on each side, just putting it one half. They'll just think I'm doing drink orders, man.
Like one ASCII character, man. Come on.
I just editing the pictures of Dr. Manhattan so you only see his head. You got this half point. Doom, it's just his metal melted face.
I think the question there is, of course, if you just showing Dr. Manhattan's head, which one?
Got to be his biggest one, which is below the belt.
Yes, good point.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's godlike. That's a ridiculous size Dawn.
Right, anyway, come on, guys. I'm desperate to hear who wins.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous Dawn. What are your thoughts, Kevin? What are your thoughts, Chief?
Well, it's really tough, but I think I'm going to have to go with Doom in the first round because New 52 was Dr. Manhattan's fault, and there is no reason for New 52, and that sold it. It's it's true, he did. That was his fault.
I was going for the same different reason. I think just the kind of the length and breadth of versions that exist of Doom and some of the variations that he's had, as Andy pointed out, are just ridiculously powerful. To the point where he is at one point essentially an evil superpowered god. So Andy, on this one, it goes to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, I think
in fairness, I had to majorly pull that out of my ass, Chris. You get that was I was like, fuck.
I am detract from your victory in round 1.
Yeah. You get like it was a very tough contest, like as Kev and Bill rightly stated. Yeah, I wouldn't have even been able to call it like that. What you get, what you'd came out the trap swinging. It was clear you had done your research. And also a good bit of humor as well, which can always work towards you as well. That's how you're such a good comedian, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
So, reluctantly, I accept this honor of winning this round. Well, I'm a gracious winner. What can I say? So we move on to our ultimate showdown.
Yeah, double point showdown. Let's not forget that.
Yep, the double point battle of the Ginge.
Right, hang on. I'm getting I'm sorted for all this. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
There we go. Right.
He's got the light on. He's ready.
I thought it was going to play some dramatic music. I thought it had some standing by.
There we go.
Oh my!
Just give myself a bit more of an edge. I'll tell you what. Just for fairness, I'll do it for Andy as well. Just give me a minute.
You've got to paint the club, Lou.
Oh no!
Oh, he's got to talk about a picture of a blue dog, and he's going to have a lot explaining to his wife.
Not only that, how do you ask for that colour at home, babe? I'm sorry, Manhattan blue paint for the dong.
It's like I just walk in. I'd be wondering. I'd be like, right, is it emulsion or is it like?
There we are.
Oh my god! Right.
It's like
Can I take this off and find it quite hard to breathe?
Oh my god! Right. I have to make a call here. I have to make a call because for that alone, for the sheer humor, we are going into this 1-1.
Okay.
That I am doing an overriding rule here. That was fantastic. We were not expecting it. It was a brilliant laugh. Definitely something that we can use before going into war. Chris, I will happily concede you a point to keep it level if our panel of judges agree.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the fact that he came in with a Doctor Doom mask that was actually better than the one from Josh Trank's Fantastic Four movie.
It so was.
Because basically in Josh Trank's Fantastic Four movie, Doctor Doom's mask looked like he was being face humped by a jellyfish. It was like his mask was somehow a translucent face hugger. It was
You're insulting the poor jellyfish.
Well.
Yeah.
To all the jellyfish lovers out there, I have nothing against jellyfish. I am fine with jellyfish.
Well, all I'll say with jellyfish is like, you're wee bastards, but we are better than Doom. And
I'm fine with jellyfish, except the one that stung Monica. All right,
definitely. But in fairness, I think that led to the great romance of Monica and Chandler. They hadn't started out with that pee. Who knows where they would have ended up?
Urine is nothing to base a romance on, Chief.
You have never heard of a golden shower, my friend.
I have. That's why I said it's nothing to base a relationship on, man.
That is a question before we jump in, because you know I love my tangents. Has anybody ever done that? Like really? No. Like never. I would never consider that. Like in any no matter how drunk I was, I would never say to any person that I would be with, no matter what, you know what I really fancy? Get in the bath, I'm gonna piss on you.
Yeah, well, do you know, if you ever wanted to end a relationship, that's probably a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah.
If the answer is, yeah, I'm up for that, then fair dues, you play it by ear from there on. But
if she says she's up for it, then I'm like, you try and double down for the Cleveland Steamer.
Oh.
To make sure she really runs.
Oh, did you have to put it like that?
Yes, I did.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Good. Just break a couple of seconds. And sort something out.
No worries. No worries.
We talked about pee too much. Now he's got to go to the bathroom. The poor man.
It's probably more that he's going to have to be sick after the stuff we've been talking about, which is totally understandable. Well, the worst part is that.
He's thinking to himself, it's a good job this tinfoil mask is waterproof.
The worst part is I'm sitting here with an uneaten double chocolate chip cookie and I just can't look at it now.
I don't
you sort of half right, just sort of practical reasons. Like I knocked my water over, so it's literally just gone underneath it. So
oh dear.
Yeah, if I'd done it over the Doom Mask, that would have been fine.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Cool. Sorry about that.
Right, let's jump into this battle of the Ginge. Well, so for just to re-clarify these rules, Dr. Doom and Dr. Manhattan, they are immobilized. They cannot fight themselves. They are transferring their abilities, both physical and mental, their experiences, their consciousness into both myself and Christopher John Stephen. Now, if we had those capabilities, Christopher and I had to duke it out, who would win? Since it was my harebrained scheme for this idea, well, I will attempt to go first.
No, I defer that you go first, Andrew. That's fair enough.
So, I think out and out brawl, I think Christopher would have the advantage. I think there's something to him where there is a thing of I think if he's such a nice guy that if he's pushed to breaking point, it could potentially lead to murder. I think he has that in him. Because he performs comedy in Hamilton. That is a tough. That's somewhere where you're lucky if you come out alive. I had an ex in Hamilton for 3.5 years. She literally almost killed me. So I know how tough it is to go to Hamilton and leave Hamilton intact. So
I live there.
Yes, you live there too, my friend. And Bill, your wife's parents
I
live
live
on
there,
that.
I still know people there, so I'm going to keep my cake hole shut.
And that shows you how tough Hamilton can be if he's deliberately keeping his mouth shut. So I think in terms Christopher and I we're both roughly the same build, but we've got the same kind of ginger temperament about us. But I've got more physical weaknesses, I think, than Christopher has. I've got my basically the entire left side of my body is fucked. Connor busted my eye, so all you got to do is deprive me of a couple hours sleep, and I can't see. The entire left side of my body is almost completely done in because my boys just somehow love to hit every part of it and break it. My knees are busted from 20 years of diving about stage and flinging myself around everywhere. So I'd essentially be walking like Herbert from Family Guy. The only advantage with that would be I would have a Zimmer. When it comes to the intellectual side of it, though, I personally think that Doom would have the advantage. I know that Dr. Manhattan is a very, very intelligent man, which is understandable. But a lot of it also filters down to the fact, as you said previously, because he's naked. He is so intelligent, he does not need clothes. He's discarded those. But that could also be the downfall, because Doom is not as dumb to be like, I still need a lot of gear if I'm going to take this guy on. I need it. I've got his intelligence rivals Reed Richards's 7 degrees, as we have talked about before. Unless you look at Doctor Strange and then you realize that he really only probably has an HND.
That's fair.
Because he was harsh, but so fucking dumb.
Oh.
Honestly, so fucking dumb in that. Don't
let that weight your decision this final round by any means, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely not be. See if I was that realities Doom, I'd be like, this is a piece of piss. No wonder he'd be like, I don't need Galactus. Screw you. Off we go. So in the mental side of it, I think if Doom was in my body, be more chance for it, because I know that I'm fucked in the head completely. But as one thing we have proved by me setting up like all the different podcasts and doing all these different projects and stuff, what I use that to my advantage. That heightens my intellect for my creativity. So I would be able to come up with creative ways with his intelligence to destroy you. But I wouldn't be able to physically do it because I'm physically fucked. So Christopher, like, you've already got the advantage because you have a pre-made sticker. What for Dr. Manhattan? But you are embodying the character. You're there. Okay. You were there. So how do you think you would fare if you took those capabilities of Dr. Manhattan and took it out to fight?
Like I say, we've went through and they'll bring it again, the extensive list of superpowers Dr. Manhattan has. So I guess it's just a question of how would I use those powers, and would I use them for good? And I think because there's a few choices in there, and there's sort of things that you can sort of attribute that you'd like for yourself, that you'd like to use them for good. And so difficult defeating an argument where Andrew's main crux of it is he's a really nice guy that I've now got to speak against, that it's going to make it very difficult for me. But I'll say I'll sort of try and frame it in the context of, okay, that's not kind of you. How would that be enhanced by superpowers? So let's have a sort of look at sort of some of the ones, because they're sort of there. I suppose resurrection is the main one, because as we all know, Dr. Manhattan came to be. He was Dr. John Osterman before an accident in nuclear physics, and sort of was resurrected. Sort of the resurrection took many different forms. He was first found as a sort of floating brain in the central nervous system in a corridor, and then that manifested itself as like sort of forming human body in the sort of break room, and then the sort of form he finds himself in finally. I mean, not that many people can pull that off, going from Krang from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Robbie Williams from Rock DJ to an overgrown Smurf. I mean, that's a lot to pack in.
The visuals as well, just beautiful.
I mean, could I pull that off myself? I mean, best case scenario, I'd probably go from Tribble from Star Trek to prototype Ed Sheeran to Mick Hucknall. It's not going to work, is it?
Like you said, if you've got resurrecting powers, like you could literally, you could recreate yourself at a subatomic level and make sure that all those like the defects that our gingerness has, you'd be able to like eradicate. You'd be like, okay, right, I can actually put. I don't need factor 50 anymore. It's like I can go outside at noon and not worry if I'm walking to the shops. All these
stuck in my head is the image of a 50-foot tall.
To be fair, it's a good excuse for staying in the pub all afternoon.
Well, when you're simply ready.
Oh, dear.
IT crowd got it.
Let's have a think about what else. Also, constructions that we'd want to go for. He built this sort of Mars home because he was a sort of watchmaker in previous life, and he sees everything in terms of his constituent atoms and sort of puts it all together. So it's a sort of big clockwork palace, and it will look too out of place in grand designs. I mean, it'd be nice to see how Kevin McLeod thought of that. It'd be really good. And let's take the big takeaway from this. It makes Superman's place look like a pile of shit. So, I'll try and put this to myself. I'm in the process of moving house. I dare say that would be a massive plus trying to interior decorate, because I think if I had Dr. Manhattan's powers, I would teleport a lot more things from charity shops, because it's just a lot easier.
Definitely. But I mean, that would be one of the key advantages.
I mean, you guys are giggling. My wife's going to have to watch this podcast, and then I'm in serious trouble. So.
I'm so glad my wife doesn't give a shit about anything I do. She's just like, do what you want. I'm going to bed.
So what else? Well, obviously Disintegration's the main one. I mean, you know, at the end of the Watchmen movie, obviously Rorschach's the sort of biggest one of that. He, you know, to save him from sort of self, really, and set him free. Yeah, he does that. And, you know, it's the most heartfelt stuff of the movie. It takes that. I'd like to think I'd use that power for good, but to be honest, those Extinction Rebellion protesters are really annoying.
I mean, in fairness, like Dr. Manhattan actually did, like, you know, disintegrate a ginger.
That's true. Yes.
So yeah, like it's proof that you can. Like, if it was like a one-on-one, you could disintegrate a ginger. Me, right away. And that would be it. And one of the things that I also like figured out as well, like when we were watching Watchmen, like you could create like a copy of yourself be beating the utter shite out of me, while the other one is building a device to totally disintegrate me and like annihilate me. Like, while that's happening, he's like,
now we did get hung up in this in the previous debate, and we did say that if you could replicate multiple stuff for yourself, and it's only generally really used in the movie for a couple of things, and one of them is so she can have sex at the same time as he's doing other stuff, which we both agreed was a real time saver. But really was, I wanted to try and raise the debate a little bit because obviously this is a sort of big super round in doing that. So let's move on to the next superpower. Oh yeah, he can make himself grow really big, which he can use.
Make himself really big.
And apparently it's actually in the comic book he can grow certain parts of his body to be really big, which I've just destroyed my argument there for that.
I would assume that would be anatomically correct, yeah. But at the same time, like, well, as I always say to my wife, size does not matter. Well, if you think about like we talked about before, like Doom has taken out Galactus, who was practically the size of a planet, and a conqueror of worlds. So in that case, that it wouldn't. If we had those same powers, and those same type of abilities, Doom's still got a chance. And in my case as well, obviously you're saying how would I defeat Andy because he's a really nice guy. See, when I need to, I can switch off my soul like that, or like on a dime. It's survival of the gingest. I mean, we've all got that. We've all got that in us, like where we have that kind of, that red mist kind of style, where it's like all of a sudden something takes over. And that's it. Well, I've had that several times when people grab my neck, and I black out and I don't remember anything. First time it happened, I actually was in school, and some guy grabbed my neck, and then I came to, and he was on the deck covered in blood, and I had a chair over my head. So yeah, basically I'd went nuts and just leathered him with a chair. So it's clear. So it is clear there is something inside of us all that can just snap like that. My trigger is my neck. So I would be like, okay, if I had Doom's powers, at first I'd be like, this is wrong. Second, you go for my neck. Okay, game over.
Hey, you were in a school. There were desks and pencils lying about. The guy was lucky he didn't go Joker from the Dark Knight on him.
Yeah, very true. But it wasn't around at that.
So much worse for him.
It wasn't around at that point. That was when I was in the Attitude Era phase of WWF or WWE now.
I mean, the only Joker you regularly had on the TV was the reruns of the Adam West TV series. So you'd have to come up with an over elaborate plan with a massive pencil sharpener and a massive eraser.
Yeah, Batman just getting out his magic eraser spray.
Holy gigantic ink rubber Batman.
Oh man, that would be hilarious. But at that time we also had the animated versions. It just I didn't have a hand any like big sticks that did say TNT on it.
Does everybody not have one of them? No.
It defeats the element of a surprise. Like, what is this? It says it on the tube.
It's almost like a gag from a Naked Gun movie, isn't it? What is this? Like a TNT, you moron.
That was maybe really. I used to live next to the haulage firms. TNT was actually a big haulage firm at the time. When you just saw this truck with TNT muscle inside, you thought, bloody hell, they're going to start some shit, man.
If he gets into a crash, we're going to hear it.
In fairness, we could have went such a dark road there because you brought up Naked Gun. I'd be like, oh, imagine if Dr. Manhattan's powers present O.J. Simpson.
Oh, I forgot it was in that.
I like the way you said we could have gone dark, and then in the next breath you switch the fucking lights out.
That's what I do. You guys have all known me for quite a considerable amount of time now.
Smash the damn bulb, man.
Funny thing about O.J. Simpson is he was going to be a Terminator before Arnold Schwarzenegger, and James Cameron said, "Oh no, we can't get O.J. He's far too nice."
Yeah, that's one of those hasn't aged well.
No.
But then again, if that had actually happened, there wouldn't be anything past Judgment Day.
No,
there wouldn't be all the crap that's came with it. So, in an alternative universe, OJ is in jail, but he's made 2 fantastic James Cameron movies.
You know what? I'm going to hold my hand up. I enjoyed Dark Fate. I thought Dark Fate was okay.
In fairness, I actually was okay with Terminator 3. But when I first saw it, it still had Arnie was still in relatively.
I like Terminator Genesis. I'm sorry.
I think on that point alone, he should be disqualified.
I've never seen it, but apparently there is a director's cut. McGee has a director's cut of Terminator Genesis that is apparently far superior to the theatrical release. Which I think most of us wouldn't take much. But
wait, was McGee Genesis or was he Salvation with Christian Bale?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
yeah. Salvation. Who directed Genesis?
That just sums it up right there.
I think I haven't truly zoomed up to it yet.
Yeah, definitely. But now, Salvation, a lot of it was kind of, but I like the idea of it being in the actual time of the machines and fighting. I thought that was a brilliant concept. They just shat the bed when it came to execution.
Which is insane when you consider the cast they had for that movie.
Yes.
Aye.
I mean, that was a hell of a cast list headed by Christian Bale.
Yeah, but in fairness, the guy from Avatar, winds up being a machine. That's Sam the point. Yeah. But at that point, I was like, I mean, even the guy that played Chekhov in Star Trek was better than him as John Crichton.
Wow, he had a good CV of doing roles that other people were more famous for playing, and he was good at it. Anton Yelchin was the boss at doing roles that other people were more famous for playing.
Definitely, he was the guy that could. Essentially, he was the guy from the Police Academy movies that did all the impressions. But he made a literal career out of it by impersonating other people's acting. What?
And you know what? A lot of people have built bigger careers on a lot and less than that.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
True. Not take away anything from gone too soon. He had plenty of Star Trek left in him. And Walter Keown, Chekhov himself approved. So
yeah.
We can't rule that out. What if the original ones go? Yeah, you'll do. I mean, imagine that. I don't. Have any of you guys seen that Strange New Worlds yet? Star Trek one?
No, not yet.
No, I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, well, he was in the kind of new Spock in that was in. He was in Discovery season 2 as well.
Yeah,
I personally do not see the hype in him. I don't know. I think Leonard I don't know, just not something. I think Leonard Nimoy, if he was alive and saw it, would have been like, really? You go for Zachary Quinto to this?
I personally think Leonard Nimoy would have been far too classy to come away with that kind of that
would be more of a Shatner line. I don't like him. Get rid of him.
That is true. That is true. I think Shatner.
He's making me look fat. Get rid of him.
Yeah. Well, apparently they are going to be bringing Kirk into.
There is a young Kirk. Yeah.
Yep. So that'll be interesting to see, and especially Shatner's reaction. We will watch that with bated breath, my friends. So we had a quick comfort break after our arguments. Hence why we're all on different screens again. We're just trying to mix
Well,
it up.
some of us sort of we're focused in continuity. You know what I mean?
Definitely, we've all got the continuity. But the only thing I've got to ask is, like, you didn't take that off when you went to the toilet, did you? If so, did you wash your hands?
Yes, it's very adhesive.
That's good. That's good. I just had this, maybe.
It's not the kind of question I thought would be asked this evening.
I was just having this really bad image of you're like there, and it's if it's a number one standing up, all of a sudden it just goes. You're like, uh-oh. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I had the Doctor Doom costume on and I've had problems, but we're all
you would just be like, "Harry, where's the printer?"
I always say that literal definition of toilet humor I've ever heard in my life.
I could get worse. I remember I had walkie-talkies when I was young. Your walkie-talkie, you're a kid, you think, oh, that'd be funny if I switch it on when I'm peeing and they hear me peeing. Sure enough, walkie-talkie slips out my hand, straight to the toilet, massive explosion because electrics in water. Not a good idea. Yeah. My parents were ready to yourself
in the wang.
What? Surprisingly not. I don't know how the hell I didn't get electrocuted. I would have wound up like Electro. That's
not what I was thinking you would have ended up like.
What? In some alternate reality, that's how Electro was made. A radioactive walkie-talkie dropped down the lava.
Whilst he was having a pee.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing.
That's why always electricity is yellow.
It's the thing. Everybody remembers those indestructible Nokias, right? The sort of the old 3310 models, the ones in the box, things like that. And there's documentary evidence of when there was sort of a nuclear research student, because I do my nuclear research.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an outstanding pillar of the scientific community.
Mm-hmm.
So basically 3 month with a lot of other physics students and so on. So what we generally decided to do, the main experiment that we did first and foremost when we got there was putting a Nokia 3310 in a pint of Swiss lager and seeing if you could phone it, which did happen, I swear to God. You've never seen 10 physics graduate students eyes light up more when you see a 3310 encased in a pint of beer and it rings.
Just proves what are those Nokias made of? I would love to see a myth, one of those Mythbuster things or whatever it is, and it's just like them doing every experiment on a Nokia 3210 and just seeing what it can stand and what it can survive. That's probably one of the things that'll survive the nuclear holocaust, like the cockroach, a Twinkie, and a Nokia 3210.
Just an awesome image of a 6-foot cockroach with a Twinkie and one little
on the phone going, more Twinkie.
Like, no, I've got lots of Twinkies left. I'm good, man. How are your Twinkies? No, you good? Cool.
Yeah. I would just think about it like Cockroach I Am Legend, where he's just the last sole surviving cockroach with this phone, but no one to call.
Yeah, and then the phone rings.
Yeah. But all he has during it is like a pet baby for company. Then then the baby has to get mutated, and the cockroach has to have this really soul-weighted decision to put the baby down.
It took a turn.
Hey, this is the B movie of I Am Legend. We could do this. This could work. They're going to the hallowed Twinkie factory.
I think we're just ripping off the first episode of the second series of Family Guy.
I was just going to say that. Family Guy's done that.
This hydrogen atom is starting to drip sweat into my eyes. So let's sort of get back to the matter at hand, shall we?
Hey, come on, this man has drippy atoms. Let's go.
Oh, but that's essentially probably why Doc Manhattan would be in him.
Starting to leak out. Oh man,
oh man.
So,
So, guys, based on the arguments, like, if we can remember them, what who do you think won between myself and my ginger partner in crime, Christopher John Stephen?
Trying to remember the arguments. It'll come back to me.
I'm going to keep moving my forehead up so you can see that the that goes up and down while you're thinking. So basically, you know, who's used their avatar's powers the most usefully. So yeah, I've gone up. My argument's been, you know, use it for construction, you use it for resurrection, teleportation. I try not to disintegrate too many Extinction Rebellion protesters, but you know, I'm allowed a couple surely, and I'll use my growth responsibly.
Yep. Well, and my argument was that, like, physically he may be able to beat me, but mentally I will be able to take him down because I have taken out like giants like Galactus, and I can also switch my soul off at a beat of a flick of a dime, so I would have no hesitation in killing in an instant.
Which I think raises the question in my mind: how much further would you go after that, though? You know, if you're just going to switched off your soul to take down your opponent, can you switch it back on before you take out the rest of us?
Depends on who it is. On my kids, I would be able to switch my soul back on. My wife, it's iffy. I think I would probably go down the road of, like, you know, I would get that taste for power and it would feel good. And I would be like, okay, let's just see how far we can go with this. But the only people I wouldn't destroy would be my kids 100%. Because they'd kill me first.
I think I would have to go with Christopher on this. Because he's got his stuff there where he's at least, before he might go down the road of, you know, complete annihilation of every living thing on the planet, he's at least trying to do some good. Whereas, to be fair, Andrew, you've taken care of your opponent by any means necessary, but can you come back from that before annihilating the rest of the world?
Well, so, only two people would survive, Kieran and Connor. At least I would leave two intact, and then they would kill me. Well, and that,
but again,
because there'd be no way that
annihilation of a race here.
Not just a race. I'd be happy to go to any other race and wipe them out as well if I had that taste for power. If my kids,
no, he doesn't even have the ability, and he's planning.
If my kids gave me like a scar option of run away and never return, I wouldn't turn back around and try and take them out. I'd go, okay, I'm gonna go. You know,
that's multiple genocide we're talking about here. Which which really makes the G logo behind you very bad looking now.
Yeah. In this world, it does not mean hope. Hey, we're talking in a reality where I've got Dr. Doom's powers and ability.
Fair enough.
As well. We're also talking where you could turn blue and have a massive dong.
Well, you know what?
Well, that could your dong could literally be the size of a planet.
No, you said blue and a huge dong. I was going to mention autoerotic asphyxiation and a cock ring. No, no. Kevin, it's over to you quickly.
Yes.
I'll have to agree with you. Because there's hope for good with Christopher John Stephen, and with Andrew, there's no hope for anybody.
No.
So
Kieran and Connor, there is hope.
There's hope for two young boys,
two young people
who will be left alone on a barren planet with no one.
Okay,
after having forced to destroy their father.
Okay, I might leave one girl for them for Earth repopulation purposes, and also see who would win, who would be the stronger to get the dominant male to get that woman. What? So I could.
It's wonderful that you started off there thinking that was going to be a positive thing, and you still turned it into something quite sadistic.
It would be great. It would be the most sadistic reality TV show in the world.
Oh, come on. You got a chance to repopulate the planet and you're going to create reality television? Piss off.
Yeah. Well, one of my fantasies, like when I was getting really badly bullied in high school, really badly bullied, like it was like every getting beat up at least twice a day. One of my fantasies was that if I ever had money, I would get all these bullies like a ticket or an airplane, like for this, like their dream holiday or whatever. And then I would deliberately get the plane crashed on a desert island. And I would drop one box of water, and with a video camera and just go, "You're on your own, fuckers," and just watch them all kill each other, rip each other to shreds.
Was that not?
Look, again, as long as we're not talking about the continuity of The Office, which is basically our world, except David Brent isn't a character, he's a reality TV star. Because I've already warned about the dangers of that most extensively at the start.
Yeah, you did.
This is true.
I could be the David Brent of that universe. I'm okay with that. Just sitting there watching it and just having that wee Ricky Gervais smirk. Yeah. But no, I have to agree.
I really thought you were going to do the dance just then.
Yeah. I have to agree with you guys. Like, well, if it came to a fight, I think because Christopher would have the hope of redemption. Well, I think he would still kill for the greater good, but I think there would be a way to redeem himself. Whereas if it was me with Doctor Doom, there would be no coming back.
Yeah,
I don't think. Well, literally, aside from my kids, that would be the only thing I would hold on to. And even then, I don't think like Doctor Doom's like personality would be able. If it got that much of a hold on me, kind of like what is with Doctor Octopus with the Spider-Man 2 with his tentacles that has its own personality. That could be too strong. If you went down that road. So I do concede. In this battle of the Gingers, in the ultimate super fight, Christopher John Steven, Dr. Manhattan, you have won.
Thank you very much. I'll try and be awful.
Right. Since you've planned everything else and wrote everything down, have you wrote down an acceptance speech?
I haven't. No. I'll just go back to my old fronts and everyone remembers asshole, right? Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Fun element. That's fun elements, and
we had a laugh at that.
I'd like to thank coming tonight, or you'll be coming tonight. Genuinely thank you for having me come on and letting me argue my case. And this victory isn't for me; it's for Dr. Manhattan and any universe he ends up in, as long as he doesn't do the New 52 again.
Yeah.
Well, resoundingly agree on that one. Well, and that's it. This has been the very first Super Ginge Battle Royale, I would say. Mm-hmm. Well, we've done our pilot for it. I think this could be a goer for a potential franchise, a potential contest to get more people in. Would you want to be a part of this Super Ginge Battle Royale?
Absolutely. I've got to defend my crown now, don't I?
Yeah. I mean, you've definitely got to come back. There's no other way, ifs, buts, or maybes around it. But you've got to come back. And fight your case. Definitely. Bill, would you be willing to come back if there was another battle royale?
Oh, hell yeah.
Sounds like a good plan. And obviously, Kev, but maybe by the time that comes round, you might be flying solo by this point as host.
Could be.
Yeah, because at the time of this recording, we just got accepted for monetization, so we could have a whole 27 pence by the time this comes round.
I was thinking more 24, but 27, I'll take that.
I'm being optimistic, man.
Can I afford a Fredo?
Well, let's not say things we can't take back.
No.
I was my celebratory Jaffa cake on the post. I'm more than happy.
Yeah. Well, we went on and checked this because the tagline is about affording a Fredo. Kev went on and checked it, and it was 25 pence. No?
25 pence.
25 pence at the minute.
Fredo?
Yep, for a Fredo.
And if you go to Asda, you can get one for 25 pence, or you can get 5.
I know. It's 30p in the supermarkets. I've checked this. It's scandalous. Support your local shop, folks. That's the one takeaway message. Wow. You get Freddos for 5p less.
In fairness, like if you go to Tesco, you get a pack of 6 for £1. Well, I know that because I get them for the boys. So I get that extra I get some extra Freddos out of that. Well, bulk buying, every little helps. Well, in fairness, like Tesco's starting to go downhill anyway, because they're boycotting like everybody. So yeah, it's fine.
No more brand new.
Yeah. Well, Christopher, like I think you could safely take off the sticker, like if it is, going in your eyes and stuff. We don't encourage blind.
I don't want to, just monetize this. Don't want it too hot to handle, but here we go, folks.
Oh.
That was steamy.
Yeah.
That was steamy.
I suddenly feel so dirty.
That's not surprising in your case, Andy, to be perfectly fair, Chief. That's
yeah. I'm gonna have to sleep on the couch tonight, man. But, yeah,
that's what I can.
Yeah, it definitely did. We just didn't. We don't encourage blindness on the show, aside from myself. So I would not want any of my guests blinded by like glue. And all of a sudden, you're just like go to your wife like, "Hey, get me to Specsavers." Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute blast, guys. I mean, what can I say? It's just even just like having us all just having a laugh. It makes it worth it. And we just get to like talk absolute, in my case, absolute pish. And your guys like constructive, persuasive arguments.
No, thank you for having me, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. What were you gonna say, Bill?
I was gonna say, autoerotic asphyxiation and cock rings. That's the argument every Oxford Don dreams of making,
Oxford Dons could not make Oxford Dongs.
That's got to be the weirdest tagline for something, but I can't imagine what it might be.
We will figure it out.
It'll be in the description.
Tell you what, see if we ever get in University Challenge, that's what we should call ourselves. The Oxford Dongs.
I know what our mascot could be.
Oh.
It's blue paint.
Only blue paint. My wedding ring. And Kev to shave his beard.
I'm just glad beard was the end of that sentence. That was the old heart rate kind of went, what's he gonna say? I don't know which version of University Challenge you've been watching, but it's been different to the one I know.
There's definitely there'll be a multiverse out there for University Challenge, but we had
obviously downloaded the wrong one.
Yeah, no, I downloaded the right one. It's not Jeremy Paxman, it's Jeremy my Pac-Man.
Oh my goodness.
Worst comes to worst.
We're not getting into Pac-Man related erotic content. Let's just end it.
If anyone takes anything away from this, at least they've came up with an idea of a really, really weird porno.
That's all you can ask for.
Definitely. Well, guys, thank you again for not only embracing the madness, but continuing to be a part of the madness. We really appreciate it. Poor Bill, his mind was corrupted. I just destroyed it even more. Christopher, you're ginger, you're same as us. But you've got a degree though, so there's hope. And Kev, sorry man, you're stuck with me.
That's fine.
Yeah. So until next time, everybody, I want to thank Christopher John Stephen, our first champion of Super Ginge. He will be back to defend his crown the second we figure out how to make one.
Absolutely.
Bill Dickson, thank you again for coming on and being part of the madness. Tell Julie we're asking for her as well.
Will do, Chief.
So until next time, Kev is super.
And there's Ginge.
And we're out of here. Bye-bye.
Yeah.